acute alarm. "I can hear the crackle of flames," she said. "There's smoke coming under the door." The medium fought, but they still held her down. "Help her, please." It was painful to watch. What had started off as a bit of a lark verged now on the distasteful. "Don't worry," the hostess calmed them all. "It's happening only in the past. We can't stop now when we're so close to a breakthrough." "There are flames," the medium's voice was shrill. "And the door's jammed. I can't get out. Won't somebody help me, please, or else I shall die." Now she was screaming and clutching her throat. The fan slid unnoticed to the floor as her fingers twisted in a horrible spasm. "Enough," said the vicar from the shadows where he'd stood unseen till now, having entered quietly after the séance began. He pushed his way to the front of the group, making the sign of the cross in the air. The medium's mouth was agape and foaming with spittle. "I've warned you before." His face was grave. "You're dealing with things you do not understand." It was years since he'd stopped their meetings in the church hall. "Where am I?" the medium asked. Feebly now, chalk white and visibly shaking. The hostess stroked her hand and helped her to rise. "You're safe," she said. "I'll fetch you tea." The vicar made his excuses and left. They had argued over such things before. He did not find it amusing. The hostess offered drinks all round, and was raising the poker to jiggle the stove when a mighty thunderclap overhead rattled the plates on the dresser, at which point the door to the street burst open suddenly. Petrified, everyone froze on the spot. Did someone just leave? Or did they come in? All eyes turned to the medium, who had fainted. Summer. Chapter 1. Aroused from sleep by the sound of guns, Erin rolled from the bed in a reflex action that was already practically second nature. How fast she'd become the prey, with one ear cocked for impending danger. Her heart went into overdrive until she identified the sound, a summer storm. From between the slats of the wooden blind that concealed the window, she could see bright flashes of quivering light from the moor. She slowly released her pent-up breath and raised the blind for a better look. The trees were gusting at furious speed, but the rain was now slacking off. She checked the time. It was barely 6, but she knew she would not drop off again. Too much had happened in too short a time. She was battling to stay calm. It was early June and the night was warm. She went downstairs to make coffee. Endicott Park. She was on her own. From what she'd glimpsed a few hours before as they bundled her furtively into the house, not a single light showed in the complex. Nor were there any cars outside, though she'd had little time for a proper look, since it was deemed essential she not be seen. The short, sharp briefing had been to the point, rigid rules for this enforced exile. She must not lose sight of the fact that her life was in danger. They'd smuggled her here in the dead of night to conceal her whereabouts from potential assassins. To her it seemed like overreaction. Left to herself, she would not have complied. But the order had come from the very top and could not be countermanded. Not even Rod, her immediate boss, could intervene at this level. As he'd explained in that final meeting, it wasn't only her neck on the line. Because of her journalistic brilliance, they were all of them now under threat. It made little sense when she thought it through. What difference could a single voice make against the vastness of a superpower? But orders were she must go to ground. For no other reason was she here. Abruptly removed from her normal life, she'd been forced to lie to those closest to her about why she was suddenly going away and where to. Something velvety nudged her knee. Perseus, her Burmese cat, was sharing her exile with her. She stooped and gathered him into her arms, breathing into his caramel fur. "I guess it's just the two of us now," she said. In the living room, she pulled back the drapes and unlocked the terrace doors. Dawn was breaking. The sky